Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my tutorial video channel. The subject of this video is cost and management accounting and the topic is flexible budget. I have selected a specimen problem which I will solve in this video. But before that, we should know what is budget. ICMA UK has defined budget as a quantitative statement which is prepared and approved prior to a defined period of time for the purpose of attaining a given objective, right? So it must be prepared prior to a predetermined period. That means there should be a time lag between preparation of the budget and implementation of it. Secondly, it is prepared for the purpose of attaining a given objective. And what can be the objective? The objective can be to determine the cost of production, cost of sales, volume of production, profitability, etc. So this is budget. Basically, budget is a blueprint of future activities, or it is a set of planned future activities. And what is a flexible budget? Flexible budget is a budget which is designed to change according to the level of activities attained, and the method of preparing this budget recognizes the distinction between fixed cost, variable cost and semi-variable cost or semi-fixed cost. So this problem is selected from an exam paper and it is very important for CA and ICW students, and this problem is quite inclusive. So I will be solving this problem. Please look at the whiteboard and watch carefully. Okay. First of all, what is the problem? On the basis of 10,000 units of output, these data are provided. What are the data? Direct material cost 80, direct wages 60. These are all per unit cost. These are all per unit cost. So per unit cost of production of 10,000 units is given, which is 205, which consists of direct material cost 80, direct wages 60, variable production overhead 25, fixed production overhead 15, fixed administrative overhead 50,000, that is total, and 5 per unit, and fixed production overhead is 150,000, which comes to 15 per unit on the basis of 10,000 units. Now selling overhead per unit is 15, of which 10% is fixed, that is 90% is variable, and for distribution overhead it is 5 per unit on the basis of 10,000 units, out of which 20% is fixed. So we have to prepare a budget, a flexible budget for 6,000 and 7,000 units respectively. Now first of all, take note of the fact that the complexity of this problem arrives here. This means the semi-variable or semi-fixed expenses. We don't have any problem as regards direct material, direct wages, variable production overhead, fixed production overhead, fixed administrative overhead, and the fixed selling and distribution overhead. So we have to first bifurcate the semi-variable or semi-fixed overhead into fixed and variable before we go to the exact solution. So we need to do some workings. You see, selling overhead is 10% fixed, that is 90% variable. So we have to find out the variable and fixed portion of 15 selling overhead. variable is 90% of 15, which is equal to 13.50 and fixed 10%. That is 10% of 15, which is 1.5, right? So variable overhead per unit is 13.50 and 10% fixed comes to 1.50. Therefore, fixed selling overhead equals to 10,000 into 1.5. 10,000 into 1.5, which comes to 15,000. So 15,000 is the fixed part of selling overhead and 13.50 is the variable per unit of selling overhead. Next, come to distribution overhead. What is said? It is said that 10% of 15 is fixed. So variable is 90%. Sorry, 20% is fixed. So variable is 80%. 80% of 5 equals to 4, and fixed part 20% of 5 equals to 1, that is fixed distribution overhead equals to 1.00 into 10,000. This comes to 10,000. So fixed selling overhead is 15,000 and fixed distribution overhead is 10,000. Variable selling overhead is 13.50 per unit and variable distribution overhead is 4 per unit. Correct? Now we can go for solving this problem. Here I do the solution. Flexible budget, this should be the heading. $6,000 units and 7,000 units. Here we write total, here we write per unit, similarly total and per unit, right? 6,000 units total per unit and 7,000 units total and per unit. Okay. So we start with direct material cost. How much? 80 per unit. This remains fixed, per unit remains fixed for all levels of activities. Production is 6,000 units and that is the sales. 6,000 into 80. That is 4,80,000 and here it is 7,000 into 80. $5,60,000. Next, direct wages. How much? 60 per unit. So we write 60 in the per unit column. Now multiply 60 with 6,000. That is 360, 100,000. And here it is 660 into 7,000. That means 420,000, right? Variable production overhead or manufacturing overhead, same thing. Variable production overhead or variable manufacturing overhead or variable factory overhead, all are same thing. So variable production overhead, how much? 25 per unit. So we write 25 in the per unit column. So 25 into 6,000, 1,50,000. 25 into 7,000, 175,000. Okay. So this gives us what? This gives us prime cost, or you can write marginal cost, right? So we add up these three. These three means direct material, direct wages and variable production overhead. So here it is 234,000. So here it is 990,000, and it comes to per unit comes to 165. And for 7,000, the total prime cost $1155,000. So prime cost per unit comes to 165. So it remains same for both the levels of activities. Here we add fixed production overhead. How much? Fixed production overhead is 150,000. So we write 150,000 for all the levels because it is fixed. Let us see what it comes to. 90,000 plus 150 plus 0, it comes to 1140,000. We divide 150,000 by 6,000 to get the per unit amount. So 150,000 divided by 6,000. So it comes to 25. It comes to 25, and here it comes to 150,000 divided by 7,000. So it is 21.42. 21.43. Then write 43 because it is coming to 21.4285. So we can take 21.43. So this gives factory cost. This gives factory cost. We are 1155,000 plus 150,000. It comes to 5,000. 13 lakh 5,000. And the per unit factory cost is 190 for 6,000 units, and here it comes to 186.43. Now we add fixed administrative overhead to find out the cost of production. We have found out what? We have found out the factory cost of production, which consists of the prime cost and the factory cost, the factory variable and fixed overheads. So next is administrative overhead. It is fixed at 5,000, 50,000. So we write 50,000 in both the levels, and we have to find out how much is per unit. So 50,000 by 6,000. So this gives us 8.33, and here it is 50,000 by 7,000. It comes to 7.14. 7.14. This is the administrative overhead per unit. 7.14 for 7,000 units and 8.33 for 6,000 units. How we have found out that? By dividing 50,000 by 6,000 here, and here by dividing 50,000 by 7,000. So we get what? We get cost of production. When administrative overhead is added with factory overhead, we get cost of production. When administrative overhead is added with factory cost or manufacturing cost or variable cost, or factory cost, then you get what? We get cost of production. So 1140,000 plus 50,000, this gives 1190,000, and here 198.33, here 13 lakh 5,000 plus 50,000. So this gives us 1355,000. That is the total cost of production for 7,000 units, and this is cost of production for 6,000 units. This is cost of production per unit for 6,000 units, and here $193.57. This is the per unit cost of production when the output is 7,000 units. So we have got cost of production. Now we have to add selling costs, both variable and fixed, to find out the cost of goods sold, cost of sales. So here we add selling overhead. Selling overhead, how much is variable? Variable is 13.50. So we write 13.50 in the per unit column. So it is 13.50 and here 13.50. So you have to multiply 13.50 by 6,000 to find out the selling overhead, total selling overhead for 6,000 units. So 6,000 into 13.50, we get 81,000. So here it is 81,000 and here 13.50 into 7,000. So 13.5 into 7,000. This gives us 94,500. So here 94,500. So we have found out the variable part of selling overhead. Now selling overhead, the fixed part, how much? A fixed selling overhead is 15,000. This is fixed for all the levels. So 15,000. Now we have to find out the per unit selling overhead, fixed selling overhead, by dividing 15,000 by 6,000 for 6,000 units and dividing 15,000 by 7,000 for 7,000 units. So first we divided 15,000 divided by 6,000. So straight away 2.50, and here 15,000 divided by 7,000, so we get 2.14. Naturally cost per unit is falling because volume has increased from 6,000 to 7,000. As volume increases, the fixed cost per unit goes on falling. So we have added both the variable and fixed part of selling overhead, so we can get cost of sales. So here it becomes 12,86,000 and the per unit becomes 3. It is 214.33, and for 7,000 units the total cost of sales is 5,000. Here it is 14,64,500. Okay, and here let's see. $209.27. So total cost of sales for 6,000 units is 1,286,000, and the per unit cost of sales for 6,000 units is 214.33. The total cost of sales for 7,000 units is 1,464,500, and total cost of sales for 7,000 units is 209.27.
Okay. Now what is left? We have to add the distribution overhead, distribution expenses. Distribution overhead, how much is the variable part? The variable part is 4 per unit. So we add 4 per unit in the unit column. So to find out the total distribution over total variable distribution overhead for 6,000 units, we have to multiply 6,000 by 4. So we get 28,000, and here 24,000, 24,000, 4 into 6,000, and here 4 into 7,000, that is 28,000. Correct? So with cost of sales, we have added distribution, variable distribution overhead. Now we have to add the fixed part of the distribution overhead. How much is the fixed distribution overhead? The fixed distribution overhead is 10,000. Please look at the wordings. So distribution overhead fixed part is 10,000. So we write 10,000 in the total column for both the levels. So to find out the fixed distribution overhead per unit for 6,000 units, we have to divide 10,000 by 6,000. So 10 divided by 6, this comes to 1.67, and here 10,000 divided by 7,000, that is 10 divided by 7, it comes to 1.43. So all the expenses have been included in the budget, and our flexible budget is almost complete. We have to add up the columns to find out the COGS, cost of goods sold. To find out the cost of goods sold. So here it is 1286,000 plus 34,000. This gives us 13,20,000. And here it is 220. The total COGS, that is total cost of goods sold, is in for 7,000 units. We have to add up 14,64,500 plus 28,000 plus 10,000. So this comes to 15,25,000. No, 15,02,500. 15,02,500. And the total cost of goods sold per unit for 7,000 units, it comes to 214.70, and for 6,000 units is 220. So as the volume has increased, the output volume has increased, the per unit cost has fallen. Why this happens? Because the fixed overhead becomes divided by more number of units. So this is the solution of this problem, or flexible budget problem. Here this data are given, which are based on the 10,000 units of output, direct material, direct wages, variable production overhead, fixed production overhead, fixed administrative overhead, selling overhead, which is 10% fixed, distribution overhead, which is 20% fixed. All are given for 10,000 units. We have to find out, we have to prepare a budget for 6,000 and 7,000 units. That is, we have to prepare a flexible budget. And what is flexible budget? Flexible budget is a statement or a blueprint for future activities, and which is so designed that it changes with changes in the level of activities. You see, as the level of activities are changing from 6,000 to 7,000, how the costs are changing. This can be easily incorporated in this structure to prepare the flexible budget. So here we have prepared the flexible budget, but before that we have done the workings to bifurcate the semi-variable or semi-fixed selling overhead and distribution overhead. Selling overhead is 10% fixed, that is 90% variable, so 90% of 15 per unit is the variable part, that is 13.50, and remains 1.50, that is fixed part. So 1.50 into 10,000 units is the total fixed selling overhead. Similarly, distribution overhead is 20% fixed, that is 80% variable. So variable per unit is 80% of 5, that is 4, and the fixed part is 20% of 5, that is 1. So total fixed distribution overhead is 1 into 10,000 units. This will remain fixed for all the levels. And here we have prepared the flexible budget for 6,000 units and 7,000 units. For each level of activities, we have done two columns. One is total column and the other is per unit column in both the cases. That means in both the levels of activities. Correct? So we have started with direct material, which is given 80, direct wages given 60, variable production overhead given 25 per unit. So we have found out the prime cost or marginal cost. Then we have added the fixed production overhead, that is 150,000 given for both level of activities. And as a result, the per unit fixed production overhead has fallen from 25 to 21.43. So we have found out the factory cost. Now we have added the administrative overhead to find out the cost of production. What is the administrative overhead? It is given fixed administrative overhead as 50,000. So we have added 50,000. And we have found out the per unit of administrative overhead in case of 6,000 and 7,000 units by dividing the fixed overhead amount by the number of units in both the cases. Similarly, so we have found out the cost of production. Now we have added the selling overhead, both variable and fixed part. The variable part is 4. So in the per unit column we have written 4. And we have found out the total variable distribution overhead by multiplying the number of units by the variable part, is 4 into 6,000, that is 24,000, and here 4 into 7,000, that is 28,000. And the fixed distribution overhead is we have already calculated as 10,000. So we have put that 10,000 in total column, and we have found out the per unit fixed distribution overhead by dividing the fixed overhead by the number of units, that is 10,000 by 6,000 here and 10,000 by 7,000 here. So we have found out 1.67 and 1.43 respectively. Now we have simply added cost of sales, distribution overhead, and we have found out the cost of goods sold. So this is the flexible budget. Correct? This is very inclusive problem, and this is selected from exam papers. So if you can understand it well, you will be able to do any problems on flexible budgeting. Okay, I hope this is enough for this video. I believe the video has benefited you, and if you so think, please do share the video with your friends, brothers and sisters, so that they can also did I benefit by watching this video? Okay, and should you have any doubt in your mind, any query, if you think that any point needs further explanation or clarification, please feel comfortable to let me know through the comment section so that I can be able to respond to all the relevant queries, doubts, suggestions, etc. And finally, thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye and stay well.